Here's the truth no one told me when I was breaking out. My skin wasn't unhealthy. My digestion, my detox, and my blood sugar were. And until I understood that, nothing I tried could ever work to clear my acne. In this episode, I am walking you through exactly how my acne finally started to make sense to me, how I went from trying to control my skin to learning how to control the systems beneath it, because you cannot manage what you do not understand. If you are new here, welcome to Rebecca's Acne Strategies, where we get serious about skin health. So things really started to change for me when I started my nutrition training. Given my education in holistic health, I was able to start connecting the major dots between the things that I was doing and eating and drinking and my skin health. I learned about my body. I learned how all the systems work, or at least most of the systems work. I learned how interconnected everything is for us. So let's now unpack this because on its own, it's very superficial. So let's think about this, because we cannot control something that we don't understand. An analogy that I like to use is driving a car. So we can successfully control the car because we understand the system, okay? We understand that if we turn the wheel to the left, the car is going to go to the left. If we step on the brake, the car is going to slow down. Do you see what I'm saying here? We know how to control it because we know what the individual pieces do to the whole car. Okay? The same is going to go with your body. So if I asked you right now to explain to me what blood sugar does, could you? If I asked you to explain your menstrual cycle to me, could you? If I asked you when day one of the menstrual cycle is, do you know that information? If your answer to that was the day you stop bleeding, you're wrong. And so many women don't even know how their own menstrual cycle works, and that needs to change. You can't expect to control your health if you don't at least generally understand the steering wheel, gas pedal, and the brake pedals of your body are. So here's how everything connected for me. Maybe you can relate. So as I started to understand my own blood sugar, my own hormones, my own digestive system, how my body detoxed itself, it was actually so easy to see how I needed to rebalance those areas, okay? Like, it made sense to me what I needed to do, okay? So here's my story. When I was a kid, I took antibiotics a bunch of times. I had a major infection on my foot at one point that had to be dealt with surgically. And we know antibiotics mess up our gut. Then I was put on birth control at about 16. And from that, I started having major issues with candida infections. Then when I came off the birth control pill at 22, I would throw up like crazy before my period started. My PMS was awful for a good 6 months. And around that time as well, I had appendicitis, and that resulted in surgery to remove it. So more antibiotics. And then shortly after that, my wisdom teeth had to come out. And I ended up having a double dose of antibiotics because one of the incisions from the surgery didn't heal properly. And I reacted so badly to antibiotics at this point in my life that while I was on them, all I could eat was bananas. Like that's how angry my tummy got, okay? And the crazy thing is, I had brutal acne that entire time. Birth control didn't help. Meds from the derm didn't help. Antibiotics didn't help. Skincare didn't help, okay? Nothing ever, 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 ever made an improvement, not even an improvement to my acne, okay? I had big open pimples on my chin and my jawline, in my temples, at my hairline, and on my shoulders, okay? And I experienced this my entire teenage experience from about 13 to the time I was 28 or 29, okay? Now, it's at this point that understanding the steering wheel, the brake, and the gas pedals of my body became super helpful, okay? So I understood that my digestive system, let me rewind a little bit. I started understanding that my digestive system relied on having healthy bugs in there to digest my food and stuff. And how many times did I just mention that I took antibiotics a minute ago, right? So imagine how lacking my gut was from all of that. And I never knew at that point, I never knew that antibiotics would kill my gut bacteria. And I realistically never even knew that I had gut bacteria, right? Because all of this time that I was taking medications, I wasn't really into nutrition. I had no training there yet. And when we take antibiotics, we're never told how to rebalance our good gut bacteria state. Never. Well, I mean, unless you're lucky, some people have a doctor that will do that, but I certainly didn't. I didn't know until I started holistic health training, okay? On to the birth control pills now. I took them for, what did I say, 16 to 22, so definitely a few years, a good chunk of time in there. Still had acne. They didn't touch my acne. And then my body became super prone to infections and then had stupid PMS symptoms and still had acne even when the birth control stopped. So this is where beginning to understand my hormones and my menstrual cycle came in. My body went insane when trying to get back to cycling regularly. Therefore, my hormone production and elimination, probably not happy, right? And hormones will affect the pH levels of our lady parts, ladies, okay, making us more prone to infection. Now, I haven't actually talked about this part of my health history yet, but my blood sugar, I need to touch on that. So I started connecting a bunch of dots in this area too. I always knew, and you'll probably relate to this quite heavily, I always knew that I would get a breakout from dairy products and from sugary stuff, okay? I always knew it was always a thing. Once I understood what blood sugar did and what insulin does, I finally understood why my skin reacted the way it did. Keyword why, okay? Not how, but why. So dairy products, little lesson here for you. Dairy products make us produce insulin. Insulin makes us produce oil, okay? Sugar obviously makes our blood sugar spike up. And when that happens, we need insulin to make it go back down again, okay? If this up and down of the blood sugar is constant, then insulin is constant, okay? Then if insulin is constant, then oil is constant, okay? So finally, I understood why sugar and dairy was making my body react the way it was. And guess what? Now that I understood it, I could control it. I could control what was going to give me blood sugar spikes. I could control what was going to destroy my gut microbiome. And this made it so much easier for me to make decisions about my food, my drink, and my lifestyle because I knew, what these things did to me on the inside, okay? I knew that my dairy intake needed to be controlled. I knew that if I had to take antibiotics again, that I needed a good controlled probiotic dose to help me repopulate what I lost from the antibiotics. I knew that my blood sugar would be crazier during the day, and therefore my body would produce more insulin and oil if I had something sweet for breakfast. So I knew that I needed protein and fat for breakfast instead. The things that I needed made sense to me. And because that was simply because I understood me. Okay? So, and that's when my acne literally disappeared. And I rarely get pimples anymore. And it's been that way for 6 years or so. I'm 35 now, and I have had acne-free skin since I was about 29. Knowledge drives compliance, you guys. Knowledge drives educated decisions, and educated decisions will drive your skin health. And that's my goal for you, okay? You can do it. It's easier than you think. So do not be scared to learn about yourself or to learn about how your body works. You'll actually amaze yourself. Trust me. And that's exactly why I developed my program, the Natural Acne Protocol, so that you can get to know you. Okay, so make sure you follow along for more podcast episodes. Ask me all of your questions in the comments, please, so that I can make more episodes for you. And we'll talk soon.